Good morning, dear Libras. I'm Empress Rose, and I'm here to do your reading. These are general readings, so take what works for you, leave what doesn't, as with everything in life. And these are all pre-shuffled and prayed over and prepared. And I started a video for you already, actually, and we got through the Oracle of Mystical Moments cards, and then I realized we were having technical difficulties. So we're going to restart that, but I'm going to redraw cards and all that. But this card came out in the first reading and jumped out into my lap in the shuffle. So I'm going to keep it as a really important message of listen. And we're listening to the world around us. We're listening to our intuition. We're listening to the little bugs in the dirt. We're listening to things growing. We're listening to the earth, to the flowers, to the butterflies, to the messages coming towards us. Yeah, this is a deep, deep listening. Maybe there's someone we really need to listen to, too. And carefully, thoughtfully listen to. Okay, so let's get a few more cards from the Oracle of Mystical Moments deck. Can I get one more card? Message for Libra. What does Libra need to know? Was that it? Was that it? We'll do one more. What does Libra need to know? What does Libra need to know? Okay. So we have these two cards here. We have the home in the sky. So we have these birds isolated in their homes. They could leave, but they're not because they're obeying the stay-at-home order. We have this elevation. Look, we have elevation. We have this thing holding us up, this sort of elevated. Neither one of these are grounded. Both of them are up in the air a little bit. So things seem to be maybe up in the air with you. We have all of these balloons here, one of which is the moon. And that sense of reflection elevating you. And so I see a similar thing with this card of just a sense of reflection. As being like a place that you need to be relying on and using is your reflection. We have, so this moon dance card, you are high up, you are doing sort of a tightrope walk. You're halfway there, you're halfway across the distance that you need to go. We have these three little birds singing, every little thing's gonna be all right. They can be messages that aren't being sent, things you want to say but you're not saying. But they're here with you for this journey. And they are watching you. And you're about halfway across the expanse here. And it's kind of a little bit of a delicate situation. And it's requiring a lot of self-reflection, but you do have this support. The self-reflection is your support system in this card. It's lighting your way. So you really need to be following your intuition and very carefully listening to it, not just making snap decisions about how you're going to respond, but very carefully listening to your intuition. And then we have this home in the sky. Again, we have these birds, which to me are messages and ideas and thoughts, and they're not going anywhere. They're sort of hovering. They seem to be actually above the same exact city these are. This is a little bit of a clearer night, and you can see the moon. This is a little bit foggier. So neither one of these have a lot of bright sunshine, a lot of clarity, which is funny because the first set I drew for you had like this sudden clarity, or that was happening, that you were getting there to that clarity. But in these moments, in this time frame, you're not having the clarity. There's a lot of like sort of finding your way, tiptoeing through some darkness. And in this one, there's movement hinted at. Maybe we're pausing here a little bit to capture balance. And in this one, there's just a massive pause right here. There's no wind here. There's a fog. We know that because there's fog, and there's this lack of clarity. If there was wind, the fog would have been blown out, and we would have this clarity. So there's a stagnancy that's happening because of the lack of clarity, and we're just kind of waiting, hanging out. These birds could fly off. They could fly south. They could fly to a clearer land, but they're not. For some reason, they're here. They're still in a flock though, which I kind of like, but they're sort of isolated from each other. So there's this group of people maybe that are isolated from each other but still able to communicate. They're still chirping at each other. So here's your Zoom meeting right here. But there's a real hold energy. You know, these balloons have reached a stasis point where they've risen and they're just hanging out. So I like how these are balancing though. You have this really grounded energy of deep listening, and maybe that's how you're going to ground and how you're finding your stability here, is with listening. A deep listening to your intuition and to people around you. And then here we have this ungrounded energy, halfway through catching your balance, relying on your intuition. And this is sort of an indefinite hanging out. I mean, when are they going to come down? Where are they going? They're communicating a little bit, but no one's going anywhere. So whatever situation we're talking about here is a little bit stagnant, without a lot of movement, and maybe even without communication, because all their beaks are pretty tightly shut here. No one's really singing. Yeah, and then these birds aren't flying around. They're not doing anything. We have a couple birds flying here, so there might be some minor messages and communications, but mostly this is a hanging out set of cards, and trusting your intuition. Oh, look, she's getting the clarity. The sky is much clearer in this card. So meditation, listening, this is going to be bringing you your clarity this week, because the situation is not going to become clearer this week. I'm very sorry. All right, so we're going to move to the Santa Muerte Tarot. And again, these have been previously shuffled. I just do sort of an intuitive shuffle until I feel like it's time to lay the cards out. All right, Libra, this is your past, this is your present, this is your internal landscape, this is what blocks you, or the difficulty, this is your external landscape, this is your to-do list, and this is a possible outcome. Okay, I never know what to do when I don't get cheery cards on the possible outcome. It's like, oh boy. Well, maybe, we'll see. Okay, so in your recent past, you have this Four of Wands. You sort of have this celebratory energy, this bringing of your wares to the marketplace. She's got the market here. She's grown her flowers. She's got some potted plants she's been growing. She's got her treasure chest. It's not open yet, but it's there. And she's in her little like hapa thing, which is like a sort of harvest tent. And there's a real celebration going on here, a lot of passion. Oh wow, this is like, her passion is supporting the roof over her head. And it's a passion project that's really that's coming to fruition. You've opened for business. And this could be a relationship that's made a next important step. This could be a business venture or something like that. That's in your recent past. In your Eight of Wands, this is really, you got Eight of Swords last time in this position, which is messages coming in. These are messages, these are very passionate messages. There could be a primordial scream going on here. We have just these wands that are this army of messages coming from you. Last time they were coming at you. This time they're coming from you, with you. These messages are very passionate, and they're with you right now. And the situation is, in your present moment, you are communicating some passionate messages right now. There's communication. So maybe these birds are talking here, or maybe you need to listen. Maybe this is coming out. Maybe the environment around you is full of a lot of very passionate communication, people wanting to say things, and you needing to listen to that. Maybe these birds are chirping. They're separated, but they're chirping. That could be what this card is sort of driving at. I mean, look at this communication. It's pretty intense, and there's a lot of it. So you could be dealing with a lot of communication right now. A lot of Zoom meetings this week. So a lot of people taking themselves off mute here is what I see. And then internally, you are the Queen of Swords. You are this battle-worn warrior. You are in full possession of your sharp tongue, symbolized by this sword. You don't want to do battle anymore. Arguing, fighting, that's for the birds. You do not want that anymore. You're done with it. You can do it though. You are fully possessed with the capability to do this. You just don't need to. You don't feel the need to do that anymore. You will if you have occasion to. If you're provoked, if some of these communications end up being a little too intense or over the top, you're willing to sort of take your sword off your shoulders. So, but this is like sort of a weight on your shoulders. These battles that you've been through and perhaps are going through are sort of a weight, and you can feel that on your shoulders. And you can feel that you've changed and that these battles have changed you somewhat. But you are also having the confidence of someone who has survived battle and is ready to move forward and knows that they can survive a lot of things. So internally, you're feeling the power of your ideas, the power of your experience. You understand. You can handle yourself, and you're feeling that right now. You're feeling the understanding that that what you've been through has prepared you for future battles so well that you're no longer even willing to engage. Because why? Because you can handle yourself. So that's a great internal energy. I really like it. What's blocking you is the Santa Muerte. This is the death card. This is the card, the namesake for the whole deck. This is a transformation that is on the cusp of happening. So it's not happening yet, though, and that's what we're seeing here. And here is just not a lot of movement. Nothing's happening yet. So what's blocking the situation? This is a major arcana, and this is sort of a transformation that's just not happening yet. That's stalled out, and it might not even have anything to do with you. Like here, they're just waiting for the wind, but here she can keep moving forward once she catches her balance. So so there might be something here that's out of your control, and some parts that are in your control that you're choosing to not employ as you move forward. But this is major transformation. This is a harvesting. This is a birth. This is a very sacred transformation that you are waiting for. So it's this waiting energy. I don't know. You know, if you're pregnant and they give you a due date, oftentimes you can go, at least in my case, 2 weeks overdue, and those last 2 weeks are just a little ridiculous. Like. You're ready, everything's ready, the cradle's ready, everything's prepared, and we're just waiting for the body to decide that it's time, and it's very much out of your control. I mean, if you're going natural. So it's very much out of your control. So that's sort of the sense I'm getting of what's blocking you, is this thing that's, you're ready, the baby's ready, your body's ready, the cradle is ready for this massive transformation, this death of one situation and this birth of another situation, and you're sort of caught just kind of in a holding pattern waiting for that. And you have choices here. I think you have the choice to catch your balance and move forward by yourself, or you have the choice to wait for the winds to change and move forward with this flock. What's in your environment is this Ace of Wands. So this is a passionate new beginning. This is a cracking open of the seed. The seed has been planted in this rich muck at the bottom of this pond. It's just the beginning. It's a very magical beginning. It's a visionary beginning. And it's just starting to crack open, and these leaves are just starting to understand that their job is to seek the light and to rise up. So this is a passionate new beginning going on around you, in the physical world around you. So that's interesting. There's not a lot's happening in the physical world out here, but something could be beginning, and we don't necessarily always see the beginning of something. In your to-do list, we have this 6 of Cups. We have this full emotional, this armload of absolute deep emotions, and we're bringing it to sort of a table of revelers. We're bringing it to people that have ordered this. So there's like a restaurant vibe here. You're in a courtyard. There's sort of a public vibe, but there's no, it's shady. It's a cozy little grotto here in the jungle. And you are gleefully, happily bringing this armload of emotion and overflowing emotion. And there's sort of an exchange here, and it's been ordered, and you're the waitress, and you're not just bringing them, you're dancing these emotions to these people that have ordered it and are asking for it. So that's your to-do list, is to bring your overflow of emotional cups out into the world, out to the people or person that needs this, that you're communicating with. It's to bring a joyful, passionate so passionate you spit on your cards, communication. And look, the water, much like my saliva, is overflowing the cups, and so there's just this real deep, passionate communication. And so your job right now is to bring forth your feelings, to bring them out, to return to the table that you got the order from, to return these things to the table, and to enjoy yourself as you do that, and enjoy your situation and your life. And I feel like she's really in her body. She really loves, she's enjoying how she's moving, how she's bringing the whole movement forward is very full of pleasure and joy. So, wow, tall order, but hopefully you can fulfill it. And then you're moving towards this 4 of Pentacles. This card just, in this deck, I find a little bit confusing. But here we have a control over, so it helps me to overlay it with the Rider-Waite deck. We have a control over your coins, your pentacles. We have this protective angel that is sort of selecting you to play with. This angel of coins. She's got a little crown of coins. She's the bride of coins, the angel of coins. In this deck, we've got these two. We've got the angel all dressed in black and the angel all dressed in white, which, we're just going to go with the dominant interpretations of those. So we have this, she's playing with her dolls. She has this whole little village here, and she's playing with them. She's in control. she's in charge, and she's plucking. This guy was going to the bank. This is in front of the bank. So we have banks and gifts here, and some sort of control over that, and some sort of say in what's going on here, and some sort of boy, I can't tell if she's like happily playing or evilly playing. But she's enjoying herself for sure, and enjoying playing with these gifts in this bank, and she just has full. She's sort of the goddess of this village with full charge of who's going where and what they're doing, and she's in charge of the bank and the gifts. So maybe you're heading into a situation where you're more in charge of your finances, or more in charge of your gifts, and more in charge of the Pentacles is a real, like, this is kind of funny because the whole suit in this deck is about farming and working hard. And this, in the Rider-Waite deck, the Four of Pentacles is about holding on, grasping, clinging to what you have, being prudent with it, and at times maybe overly cautious with it. And that's not the vibe I'm getting from this card. So yeah, but I do see like an angel or some sort of ability to control things, your gifts, your bank account. It does have to do with money, with the physical world, and it does have to do with control. So there's going to be a lot more control, and maybe you're the little goddess here, enjoying playing with these, with objects, with things, with money. You're enjoying having it and being in charge of it. So hopefully that's where we're going here. So, all right, Libra, I hope that was helpful for you. And of course, like, subscribe, and comment so that my little baby channel can grow and these messages can find more people that might find them useful. So thank you.